So, Sean, you're concerned about CPI, aren't you?
CPI, wasn't he in Star Wars?
What, the little thing? Yes. Oh, no, he was the robot, wasn't he?
He was the robot. Yeah,
R2-D2 is the little
the
thing.
little thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when they showed the bloke who played R2-D2. He was quite small.
Oh, yeah. He was in loads of other bits and bobs, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, CPI inflation.
Yeah.
So I was telling you earlier, my little room here is like Santa's grotto. I've never seen so many cardboard boxes because I've been doing the shopping for the family. And because the kids are getting older, everything now comes in boxes.
How old are they, your kids?
Well, the grandkids are 4, 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And the big kids are 33, 31 and 28.
And you that's one of your annual responsibilities, is it? To be
yes.
To be like
so
Santa
what
Claus,
I do to try and beat inflation, which is where CPI came from, is I try and do Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And so I say, look, give me your Santa lists and leave it to me. But for this year, because of some work stuff and other things, it's been quite stressful. And I went too early, and I actually lost some value by not waiting to Black Friday, which was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I have noticed is, just as I'm sure listeners will also notice, is how sort of item for item things have gone up quite a lot. And that may sound blinding obvious, but I do feel that this year we're beginning to see that hidden inflation, which doesn't look anything like the official 3.5%. And
so this is akin to your Sticky Toffee Pudding index.
Sticky Toffee Pudding index. So people haven't heard of this. I gauge inflation by how much in an average restaurant you have to pay for Toffee Pudding. And my reference point goes back about 10 years when it was £4.99. And that was what I would call a reasonable sum for a dessert.
Back to when it was 4 groats.
Yeah. But having seen it now top over the £9 mark, admittedly, this was in Weston-super-Mare of all places. Admittedly, a very nice Sticky Toffee Pudding. It worried me that
big one, or sorry, I digress. A big one.
Yeah, good helping. Good helping. It's one of those which literally melted in your mouth. It was.
Sounds good. They normally come with custard, don't they?
Well, I'm more of an ice cream because it melts a little bit on the top. But anyway, obviously not very seasonal. So I thought I'd bring listeners my Christmas tree index. And there is a little bit of research in this. So for it to be statistically significant, you'd need to go to the same retailer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So everything being equal, I think, is the phrase. And you'd also have to know that my wife doesn't just want the one that I would have been perfectly happy with, sort of 4 foot with the needles that fall off after about a week. Because she's from Scandinavia, we have to have a Norwegian spruce.
Yeah.
Which is one of these ones where the needles are about like the length of a syringe needle. And allegedly they don't fall, which obviously is nonsense because the tree is dying in front of you. But anyway, it has to be 7 foot, which is ridiculous. It's taller than me.
Isn't it? Do you live in a stately home or something?
No, it's touching the ceiling. Can't even get the fairy on the top.
Lord Ireland, Lord Harrington, Bewley, or what have you.
Yeah. You need a ladder to get the fairy on the top, otherwise it falls over. But anyway, here's the thing. So,
you don't have a star? You have a fairy instead?
Actually, to be fair, it is a star. We used to have a fairy, but she fell off and broke, so we got a star.
Sorry,
but here's the thing. So remember, the official inflation figure, I think, was 3.5 or 3.1%.
Yeah.
Bank of England target 2%, right? So I'm going to test you on your maths now. I looked back in 2024 from the same retailer, same size tree. We paid £50, which is a lot of money. But this week we paid £55. And I want you to tell me how much that is in inflation.
Yes, 10%.
Exactly. Easy to work out, isn't it? So I've got to say to said retailer, you're not pulling the wool over my eyes. Or is it? That is the real inflation price in the Southwest.
You see, there's a lot of affected different issues coming into play here, isn't there?
Oh, here we go.
There are a lot of issues coming to. One is that there could be some sort of a shortage, or there could have been a disease in Scandinavia amongst those trees, which would have nothing to do with inflation in this country, would it? It would be due with a shortage of trees. They're not like something that's made in this country. We don't grow them, do we? They're imported.
Well, can I give you another bit of intel, just to fact base this? Now, as you may recall, I did do a Norwegian trip last spring, and actually one of their problems is quite the opposite. They can't stop them populating.
Right.
Yeah. So they trying to get rid of them, but they can't. So I take your point, but I just think there is something going on CPI where those of us in the real world, the so-called basket, the typical basket, our baskets are a lot more expensive than the baskets that the people who monitor inflation, whoever they are, I guess it's the ONS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to know where their baskets are, because they're nowhere near my baskets.
I think
porridge is the same, but that's another story.
There's a truth to what you're saying, because I don't deny that it affects the inflation rate, regardless of what the cause of it is. By the same token, you see these, in terms of gas and electricity, a prime example, isn't it? That they're things outside the control of national governments. So that if they're coming from outside the country and the prices have gone significantly higher, then national governments can't control that, can they? Similarly with coffee and chocolate and the likes, you just have to go with the flow, I suppose. I guess the argument could be that national governments in theory can control the exchange rate. So the stronger the pound, the less these things cost to import. Could argue that, I guess. It's very difficult, isn't it, to try and, internally, we've had, this is moving off of Christmas to a degree, but internally, there's the argument that you try and keep your wage bill down, don't you? And you try and spend less on things that you don't need. The Christmas tree index, I'm not sure. Did you put it up? Have you put it up yet?
Well, it goes up in stages. So first thing I have to do is to take an inch off the bottom root, stick it in a bucket in the garage. This is all on instruction from my Scandinavian expert. And it has to sit in the garage for a week. And about the 10th, it's allowed in the house. And at that point, it's officially up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes down, like the 12th night or whatever it is.
It's not up yet, then it's still...
Well, it is up, but it's up in the garage in a bucket.
Oh, okay.
Rather than beautifully presented.
You're a good lady.
Yes.
Back in Scandinavia, back in Sweden, when she was younger, did they have trees in the house in Scandinavia? Or did they have them outdoors, or is it?
Yeah, they have Christmas trees.
Yeah, they do. They do, because I know that obviously this sort of thing came from Prince Albert, didn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say Queen Victoria, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he brought a lot of things to this country, didn't he, Prince Albert?
They're not so. The Swedish traditions aren't probably as sort of lavish, and everything's getting more lavish, isn't it? But on a serious note, on employment, I was actually in our local shopping mall today trying to finish off Santa's Grotto because I couldn't get everything online. And what I did notice, and this is again an unofficial index, is that there do seem to be fewer shop assistants able to take your cash, which seems a little bit of a odd one for retailers. And, at least half the tills in the places I was at were not busy. Now, admittedly, it's not Friday, Saturday, Sunday when more people might be around. I thought that was an interesting, and whether the things we hear about employment are visible, because these would be sort of minimum wage type roles.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting.
Were any particular shops that you...
Yeah, I won't mention the brand names, but they were because I was shopping for the grandkids, so they were what I would call not electronic games, but game stores, toy stores. Toy shops.
Yeah.
Toy shops, craft shop, because our grandkids like crafts.
Yeah.
So,
I would imagine we were talking about Christmas in general, I would imagine they've taken quite a hit in toy shops since we were kids, because it is a lot of kids now, where we would have had physical toys, now have, as you say, electronic games and do things online, don't they? So I wouldn't have thought we talked before on here about Subbuteo and games like that and board games, which
Yeah,
used
it
to play
definitely
quite a
changed.
lot.
What I mean,
Mm,
using just things I could see, you get an awful
mm,
lot for, say, younger years up to 4 or 5.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you're right, not so much for older kids. So that's when you have to go to the craft shops to try and find things, because they love painting,
yeah,
drawing, and that is sort of to some extent age agnostic. And
yeah.
even though my grandkids like their iPads and playing games and things, they still also love the downtime of making stuff. And as I speak, they are downstairs making a bonsai tree. Not for Christmas. It's a long story, but
Yeah,
it is remarkably looking like a bonsai tree.
close. So
Anyway,
I've diverged slightly from your point. Your point was that you don't think there are as many people being employed in these roles as there have been in previous years.
it just appears that way. But my bigger point, and where it all started, is I don't think the basket that gives us 3.5% inflation is the same basket, certainly that I'm using, and I would
Yeah.
hazard the majority of the UK.